Think the world's richest man wouldn't live in a tiny, cheap house? Think again. Elon Musk's life is full of surprises, and you're about to see why. Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, could live in the most extravagant homes imaginable. Yet, in a move that stunned the world, he sold off his multi-million-dollar real estate empire and now lives in a tiny house worth about the same as a mid-range sedan. For years, Musk owned an impressive collection of properties, including a massive estate in Bel Air, a modern mansion in the Bay Area, and multiple other luxury homes. These weren't just high-end homes. They were sprawling properties equipped with everything from private theaters to futuristic design elements. At one point, he owned so many mansions in Los Angeles that he was practically his own neighbor. But then, he decided to sell them all. It wasn't just talk. Musk followed through, one by one, offloading his lavish properties, including his last remaining mega mansion, a 16,000 square foot estate in Hillsborough, California. This historic home, built in 1912, featured 7 bedrooms, over 9 bathrooms, and sat on an enormous 47-acre lot. He had bought it for around $23 million, and when he sold it, the era of Musk the real estate mogul officially ended. So where does the world's richest man live now? A tiny, prefabricated home near SpaceX's launch site in Texas. The house, made by a company called Boxable, is just 375 square feet, smaller than some people's garages. It's simple, efficient, and costs around $50,000. It has everything he needs: a small living area, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. Musk has said that he doesn't need a big house because he spends most of his time working anyway. However, his minimalist lifestyle isn't as strict as it seems. While he still spends a lot of time in the small house, recent reports suggest that Musk also has a much larger property in Austin, Texas. This so-called secret compound consists of multiple high-end mansions, one of which is an extravagant villa with Tuscan-style architecture. Another is a sprawling 6-bedroom estate. The compound is believed to be a private retreat where Musk can live with his children and their mothers in a secluded, family-friendly environment. This mix of extremes, living in a compact, no-frills home, while also securing a multi-million-dollar estate, perfectly reflects Musk's unique approach to life. He's a man who reinvests nearly all of his wealth into his businesses, constantly pushing the limits of space travel, AI, and transportation. He doesn't flaunt luxury the way other billionaires do, but he still makes sure his family is taken care of in comfort. Musk's real estate choices are just one example of how he operates. He doesn't just follow the expected path of a billionaire, he disrupts it, rewrites the rules, and in the process, keeps everyone guessing about what he'll do next. Elon Musk isn't just changing the future of cars, he's surrounded by them. From sleek Teslas to rare supercars, his collection isn't just about luxury, it's a reflection of his life, his vision, and even his quirks. Unlike most billionaires who buy fleets of luxury cars just to let them sit in garages, Musk actually drives and interacts with his vehicles in a way that matches his unpredictable and fast-paced life. Tesla changed everything. While he still owned high-end sports cars, his daily rides became his own creations. The Model S Plaid became his go-to, an electric powerhouse that could outperform nearly any gas-powered car on the road. The Model X, with its futuristic falcon wing doors, was directly inspired by his personal frustration with traditional SUVs. His cars weren't just transportation, they were experiments in what vehicles could be. But his garage doesn't stop at Teslas. Musk has a habit of collecting vehicles that are as unconventional as he is. At one point he bought the Lotus Esprit from the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me, the one that turned into a submarine. He later admitted that he planned to modify it to actually work as an underwater vehicle, but the idea never became a reality. Still, it was a perfect example of how Musk sees cars as more than just machines. They are playgrounds for wild ideas. Even his simplest cars have meaning. He once owned a 1978 BMW 320i, an old worn-down car that he bought for just over $1,000 in his early years. He repaired it himself because he couldn't afford a mechanic. It's a reminder that, despite his billions, he wasn't always the man who could afford rocket ships and electric cars. And speaking of rocket ships, Musk took his obsession with vehicles to a whole new level when he sent one to space. In 2018, he strapped his personal Tesla Roadster to the Falcon Heavy rocket and launched it into orbit. No one else in history had ever sent a car into space just for the fun of it. It wasn't just a publicity stunt, it was a message. Musk's life revolves around pushing the limits, doing things no one else would dare try. Today he still drives his Tesla Roadster when he feels nostalgic, but he's also been spotted testing the Cybertruck. Unlike other billionaires who opt for sleek, subtle luxury, Musk wants his vehicles to stand out. The Cybertruck, with its sharp edges and futuristic design, is exactly the kind of thing that fits his style. Extreme, unconventional, and controversial, just like him. His collection is a mix of the past, present, and future. There are reminders of where he started, symbols of where he is now, and glimpses of where he's heading. Every car, whether a Tesla or a rare supercar, has a connection to his life, his ambitions, and his relentless pursuit of innovation. Musk doesn't just own cars, he turns them into statements. Whether it's speeding down the road, flying to space, or sitting in a garage waiting for a crazy experiment, his vehicles are an extension of his fast-moving, high-risk, and endlessly creative life. Elon Musk doesn't waste time sitting in traffic. When you're running multiple billion-dollar companies spread across different states and even different continents, private jets aren't just a luxury, they're a necessity. Musk's jet of choice is the Gulfstream G650ER, a sleek, high-speed aircraft that lets him travel nearly anywhere in the world without stopping. But he's always upgrading. Recently he added the even more advanced Gulfstream G700 to his fleet, pushing the boundaries of speed, comfort, and efficiency. His jets are more than just a means of travel, they're part of his work routine. Musk doesn't take vacations the way most billionaires do. Instead of relaxing in tropical resorts, he's constantly flying between Tesla factories, SpaceX launch sites, and meetings with world leaders. One day he's in Texas at Starbase overseeing the latest Starship launch, the next he's in California at Tesla's design studio, and soon after, he's in Europe or China negotiating new deals. His travel schedule is as intense as his work ethic, and his jets allow him to manage it all without wasting a second. But while his private aircraft help him dominate the skies of Earth, Musk's real obsession lies beyond this planet. Space travel isn't just an idea for him, it's a personal mission. Through SpaceX, he's not just building rockets, he's actively preparing for a future where humans live on other planets. Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built, is at the heart of his plan. With its massive size and fully reusable design, it's meant to carry people and cargo to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Elon Musk doesn't just build companies, he builds industries. His success isn't about one brilliant idea or one lucky investment, it's about constantly taking risks, betting on the future, and staying ahead of everyone else. He isn't just the richest man in the world, he's the man shaping what the world will look like in the coming decades. His wealth isn't sitting in bank accounts or luxury assets, it's fueling projects that redefine technology, transportation, energy, and even the possibility of life beyond Earth. His approach to business is unlike any other billionaire's. Most executives play it safe, focusing on profit and stability. Musk, on the other hand, takes everything he earns and reinvests it into ventures that most people wouldn't even attempt. He doesn't just want to build a car company, he wants to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. He doesn't just want to launch rockets, he wants to make humanity an interplanetary species. Every company he owns is part of a much larger vision, a future where technology isn't just profitable, but revolutionary. Tesla started as a niche company making expensive electric sports cars, and now it dominates the global auto industry. Musk took a risk when he bet that people would eventually ditch gasoline and embrace electric vehicles, and today, Tesla's impact is undeniable. But for him, Tesla isn't just about making cars, it's about building a future powered by sustainable energy. That's why he expanded Tesla beyond vehicles, developing solar energy solutions, massive battery storage projects, and even humanoid robots designed to integrate AI into daily life. While other car companies scramble to catch up, Musk is already looking ahead to a future where vehicles drive themselves and homes run entirely on renewable power. SpaceX was another gamble that most thought would fail. When Musk founded the company, private space travel wasn't even taken seriously. He had to fight to prove that reusable rockets were possible, that private companies could replace government programs, and that space exploration could be commercialized. Today, SpaceX dominates the industry, launching satellites, sending astronauts to the International Space Station, and preparing for missions to the Moon and Mars. Musk isn't interested in short-term wins. He's laying the foundation for a future where humans don't just live on Earth, but expand across the solar system. But his vision doesn't stop at cars and rockets. He's also pouring money into artificial intelligence, brain-computer interfaces, and even high-speed underground transportation. Neuralink, his brain chip startup, is working on technology that could help people with paralysis regain movement and eventually enhance human intelligence. The Boring Company, which started as a joke about fixing traffic, is now developing tunnel networks that could change the way cities function. He doesn't wait for permission or follow the rules. He simply pushes forward, creating technology that forces the world to adapt. His business strategies are aggressive, sometimes chaotic, but undeniably effective. When he bought Twitter for $44 billion, it wasn't just about owning a social media platform, it was about controlling a global conversation. He rebranded it as X and started transforming it into an all-in-one digital ecosystem. While critics doubted his decisions, he continued making bold moves, introducing new financial and AI-driven features that could turn X into a tech powerhouse far beyond social media. Musk's wealth is a byproduct of his ambition. He doesn't just accumulate money, he puts it back into the world, funding the next big leap in technology. His lifestyle isn't about personal luxury, it's about living at the edge of what's possible, taking risks, and making sure that the future arrives faster than anyone expects. Some call him reckless, others call him a genius. But one thing is certain, when Musk bets on something, the world changes. Elon Musk's obsession with Mars isn't just a passing idea, it's a mission that consumes his thoughts, his businesses, and his fortune. For years he has been fixated on one goal: making humanity a multi-planetary species. It's not a vague dream, it's a structured, heavily funded plan, and he is determined to see it happen within his lifetime. At the heart of this vision is SpaceX, and its most ambitious creation yet, Starship. This massive, fully reusable spacecraft is designed to carry both cargo and humans to Mars, and it represents the future of interplanetary travel. Musk has spent billions developing it, pushing engineers to work at an insane pace, testing, failing, and rebuilding with relentless urgency. His belief is that the cost of space travel must be dramatically reduced, and only a spacecraft like Starship can make that possible. Unlike other billionaires who treat space exploration as an expensive hobby, Musk sees it as an absolute necessity. He believes that humanity needs a backup plan, a way to ensure survival if disaster ever strikes Earth. Mars, in his mind, isn't just a distant rock, it's the next frontier, the next step in human evolution, and he's willing to put everything on the line to make it happen. His schedule reflects this obsession. He spends much of his time at SpaceX's Texas launch site, personally overseeing every major step of the Starship project. He pushes his team constantly, setting aggressive deadlines and demanding rapid innovation. He's not just an investor watching from the sidelines, he's involved in the process at every level, treating it with the same urgency as someone racing against time. Financially, Musk has made it clear that he is willing to pour every last dollar he has into making Mars colonization a reality. The profits from Tesla, his stake in X, and his other ventures are all feeding into the massive costs of developing the rockets and life support systems needed for Mars missions. While some investors might expect him to prioritize maximizing profits, he has openly admitted that he's more interested in pushing humanity forward than growing his personal wealth. Despite setbacks and constant skepticism, Musk continues to set aggressive goals. He wants to see the first uncrewed missions to Mars in the coming years, testing landing systems and cargo delivery. Soon after, he envisions sending the first humans not just for a short visit, but with the tools and infrastructure to begin building a permanent settlement. He talks about a city on Mars the way other CEOs talk about quarterly earnings, like it's not just possible, but inevitable. His fixation on Mars shapes everything he does. It influences his business decisions, his lifestyle, and even the way he thinks about time. Musk isn't just building rockets, he's trying to rewrite the future of the human race. Whether people think he's brilliant or reckless, there's no denying that he's doing what no one else has ever attempted. If he succeeds, he won't just be remembered as an entrepreneur or an inventor. He'll be the man who made life on another planet possible. Elon Musk isn't a traditional philanthropist. Unlike other billionaires who establish massive charitable foundations and make high-profile donations, Musk has a different approach. One that is as unpredictable as the rest of his life. He doesn't just write checks to causes for the sake of appearances. When he gives, it's usually tied to innovation, large-scale impact, or personal conviction. One of the biggest examples of his giving came when he quietly donated nearly $6 billion in Tesla stock to charity. He didn't make a big announcement about it, and the details of where exactly all the funds went remain largely undisclosed. Some of it is believed to have supported food programs, educational initiatives, and environmental efforts, but Musk himself has never made a big deal out of it. Instead, he sees philanthropy as something that should be focused on solving fundamental problems rather than just making headlines. His most public donations tend to align with his interests in science and technology. He has funded projects related to renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and space exploration, often directing money to causes that aim to push humanity forward. He pledged $100 million toward carbon capture technology, a crucial step in combating climate change. He has also supported AI research, both through his past involvement with OpenAI and more recent efforts focused on ensuring that artificial intelligence remains safe for humanity. Education and innovation are areas where Musk believes funding can make a real impact. He has donated to STEM education programs and has supported schools that focus on engineering and science. He even created his own experimental school, Ad Astra, later renamed Astra Nova, designed to teach his own children and a select group of students with an emphasis on problem-solving and hands-on learning rather than traditional education models. Despite these contributions, Musk remains skeptical of traditional philanthropy. He has openly criticized large-scale charity organizations, arguing that they often waste resources and fail to create meaningful change. Instead, he believes that the best way to improve the world is through technological advancement and economic growth. His companies Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and others are, in his view, the real solutions to global challenges. By accelerating the transition to renewable energy, making life multiplanetary, and advancing AI and neuroscience, he sees his work as philanthropy on a much grander scale. Musk's giving may not follow the conventional playbook, but it reflects his personality, direct, unconventional, and focused on long-term impact rather than short-term recognition. Whether through massive donations or through the world-changing technologies he funds, his version of philanthropy is shaping the future in ways that extend far beyond traditional charity. Elon Musk doesn't live like a typical billionaire. There are no long vacations on private islands, no weeks spent at lavish resorts, no quiet mornings spent sipping coffee with nothing to do. His life is built around one thing: work. His schedule is intense. He typically wakes up early, around 6 or 7 in the morning, and immediately jumps into action. He doesn't waste time on long breakfasts or drawn-out morning routines. Instead, he quickly gets ready and starts addressing the most critical business matters of the day. His workdays are split between his various companies, and he structures his time in 5-minute blocks, a method he uses to stay focused and efficient. Meetings, emails, engineering discussions, and strategy sessions all happen at a relentless pace, leaving no room for distractions. Unlike many CEOs who spend their time managing from a distance, Musk is hands-on in nearly everything he does. At Tesla, he isn't just approving reports. He's personally involved in engineering decisions, product designs, and production challenges. He has been known to sleep on the factory floor when the company faces production bottlenecks, pushing employees to find faster and better solutions. At SpaceX, he is actively engaged in rocket development, standing in the middle of engineering discussions and challenging teams to rethink their approaches. Whether it's a manufacturing problem at Tesla or a Starship test at SpaceX, he wants to be there making real-time decisions. His level of commitment is extreme, and so are the sacrifices that come with it. Musk has admitted that he regularly works 80 to 100 hours a week, sometimes even more when a major product launch or mission deadline is approaching. There are nights when he barely sleeps, surviving on a few hours of rest before getting back to work. His sleeping arrangements are often unconventional, sometimes in a conference room, sometimes in a small guest house near his work sites, sometimes even in a sleeping bag at a factory. Meals are another area where he doesn't waste time. He often eats quickly, sometimes during meetings, grabbing whatever food is available. He doesn't follow a strict diet, and despite being the face of futuristic technology, he has a weakness for simple, fast food. Social life is limited. While he occasionally attends events or makes public appearances, his personal time is often spent either working or thinking about work. He has been married and divorced multiple times, and his relationships, including his high-profile one with musician Grimes, have played out under the shadow of his demanding lifestyle. Even his role as a father is unconventional. He has multiple children and has spoken about how he tries to spend time with them when possible, but balancing parenthood with his work schedule is no easy task. He has brought some of his kids to work meetings and even had them visit rocket test sites, blending his personal and professional life in a way that reflects his unconventional nature. Exercise is minimal, but present. He has admitted that he doesn't work out much but tries to squeeze in weightlifting or running when he can. For Musk, fitness isn't about sculpting a perfect physique. It's just another function to maintain so he can keep working. His daily life is built for efficiency, but it's also a reflection of his personality. Musk isn't driven by luxury or comfort. He is driven by the need to build, to create, to push the boundaries of what is possible. While some might see his routine as exhausting or extreme, for him, it's the only way to live. He doesn't separate work from life because to him, they are the same thing. Elon Musk has already reached financial heights that seemed impossible, but the real question is, how much higher can he go? With his wealth tied to Tesla, SpaceX, X, Neuralink, and multiple other ventures, some analysts predict that he could become the world's first trillionaire. Unlike traditional billionaires who diversify their assets into safer investments, Musk's entire fortune is built on high-risk, high-reward industries. Tesla remains his biggest financial engine, and if its stock continues to rise with advancements in AI, autonomous driving, and energy storage, its value could skyrocket. SpaceX, once dismissed as a risky space startup, is now a leader in satellite launches and human spaceflight. If Starship becomes the backbone of interplanetary travel, its market potential is nearly limitless. Musk's strategy has never been about hoarding wealth, it's about reinvesting it. Whether it's artificial intelligence, brain implants, or Mars colonization, every dollar he earns fuels projects that could reshape the future. If any of them reach their full potential, a trillion-dollar fortune isn't just possible, it's inevitable. But for Musk, it's never been about the number, it's about what that number can build. That's about it. What year will we land on Mars? Share your thoughts in the comments. For more useful information, watch other videos.